Here we are at the Martin Sports Car Club iRacing League, the Season 1 finale for 2021. And we are at the famed, long, twisty, crazy fast Le Mans in France. And here next to me again for another week is Lexi.
Bonjour, m'appelle Lexi.
Whoa, bringing out the French. I was just going to get some fries and baguettes, but it's much better. So how are you feeling this week, Lex?
I'm good.
Yeah? Glad to hear that. You ready for the big finale we have this week?
Yeah.
Awesome. Glad to hear that. How about we talk about a little bit, well, let's show people what kind of crazy track this is. So I know it looks small, but it is 8.5 miles long. And that does make for some crazy racing, because if you see at the top of the map there, the Mulsanne Straight, it is broken up by chicanes now, where before the old one was just straight for 240 miles an hour at the time back in the 60s and 70s. But a little bit safer now, which is good, and we like that. So, Lex, you want to go over any of the weather?
78 degrees, 55% humidity, partly cloudy, and 4 miles per hour.
Awesome. So you'll see that there's not a lot of elevation to this track, and that's okay, because it's flat out everywhere, no pun intended. But we're going to go down, see. So in first place, Andrew for the LMP2 class did set a record time, and the timing and scoring for this particular session is not working for some reason. I've tried several times and it just didn't work out, but Andrew did lay down a qualifying lap of a 3:31, and Daniel was just a couple seconds back, and the first 4 spots were taken by Zamplemy Motorsports drivers. In the GT3 field, Justin Hall also qualified fastest, with Jesse Olsen second and Tom Jessen third. Oh, that's a great qualifying for him. So here we are on the start. So we're going to go ahead and get right to it. There is the start. And here we go on with the LMP2 cars out in the lead. And Andrew taking everybody through single file real quick. There's already some shuffling. Zane got pushed back a couple spots from his starting position. There's the planes, the jets carrying the red, white, and blue smoke that they do for the French flag colors. All right, let's give a quick shout out. So, oh man, one of the LMP2s off already. I think
Whoa.
Looks like maybe Chris was there. So here is the GT3 class getting all crazy on the stadium section. And as they're going through, it looks like they've already gone single file. This is a long race with the 8.5 mile track. It's absolutely crazy. It's for the LMP2 cars, like we mentioned before in qualifying, it's about a 3 minute 30-second lap, somewhere around there. And the GT3 cars is a 4-second lap.
What were those colors? Red, white, and blue?
Yep. Same colors as the United States, just on a different style and looking flag.
What were those?
There were jets, and they were just leaving smoke as a decoration behind it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Do they always do that in every race, or for the finals?
Well, they do that in Le Mans. They do that for every race in Le Mans to start the 24 hours.
24 hours?
Yep. Yeah, this one is only a 15-lap race coming through. Oh, no, Andrew off just a little bit in a big spin, handing the lead to Leland right now. So luckily there's a lot of space. JG coming through second, and Andrew files back in right around third. Zamplemy fell back a little bit, had to slow down after one of the things, and looks like somebody else was off. A lot of smoke through there as Jesse Olsen now is in the lead of the GT3 class.
Do you want me to go down the leaderboard?
You can, you know what? So much has happened already. You can absolutely go down the leaderboard.
Yeah, in the beginning I saw someone was at 15. They moved up 15 spots and we just started. Okay, here we go. Leland, JG, Andrew, Zane Plumley, Nicholas, Daniel, Boblisha, Judy, Dustin,
yeah.
Chris, Jesse, Justin, Tom, Bradley, Eric, Michael, Bjorn, new guy, Dean, Jason,
Yeah.
and Craig, who is out.
Yeah, Craig had some internet issues tonight. Was able to make practice and was not able to make the race. So sorry we did miss him. So we do have 20 cars out here, and what I'm talking about again is 8.5 miles to make one lap around here. So that's why this race is only 15 laps, but still the longest race that we will have this year. So as we're looking for, let's bring up the battle box so people can see how some of the races are going. So this big old freight train coming through with GT3 cars is pretty amazing, to keeping everything nice and tidy. And I think they're using each other right now and working together for the draft to make sure they can catch up to the faster guys.
That is a cool car.
That is a cool car. That's another shut up and drive it design that they have moving out. So Leland Giddens in first is crossing the line. If the 3:37.718, the fastest lap of the race, and you'll see everybody in green popping out to the right with their times because they are all setting their best lap now that they've getting up to speed, and probably the next lap as well because they'll come through a little bit quicker. I love that shot there, coming up as sunset is going through, up and over the hill over the Dunlop Bridge, which is pretty awesome. So Dustin in pit lane might have a little bit of issue and taking on some damage and wants to get that fixed. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. All right, let's look for, here we go with Justin Hall, who should be closing. There he is, right there, closing on the back, just inches off of the Lamborghini of Jesse Olsen. Now, Jesse normally does race in our LMP2 class, but he's already wrapped up the championship, winning majority of the races. So he decided to jump back in GT3 and give that thing a shout. And what's also interesting is he just bought that Lamborghini just for this particular race. So it took him a little bit while, a couple practices, but he's finally got the hang of it, obviously, since he's out there running in the front. All right, let's see where we have some battles. There's a battle, no doubt. There's 4 or 5 cars, and it seems like, looking at the front of all these cars, they all look the same. It's the BMW GT3, the M4, the prototype that came out last season.
6 cars.
Yeah, it's and like I said, when I said freight train, so like I said, they're all working together. Some of these straights are just amazing how much speed that they actually can get through. Oh, there goes a cone. 2 seconds as Michael ducks in on the brakes right in front of Eric, and now he's all over the back of Bradley. Wow, this is getting close. Let's see if we can change view. There we go. So Bradley tucks out of the draft. Looks like he might be giving way to Michael. Yep, I think that's what they're doing there. So Bradley and Eric can work together because Michael is definitely a fast GT3 driver as he closes in on the brakes here of Tom, who's in second place after Justin had to take a slowdown and move to back of the grid. So that's one thing about this track. It is very, very fast, but it's also very, very picky about where the slowdowns. If you ride too much curb or put too many wheels over the other side of the curb, it does give you a slowdown. And unfortunately, some of these places, it gives you, off really wide, not to hit the back of Tom, as Tom slides out wide, and that gives Michael the sole spot into second place. But here comes Tom back on the left side. So even though he got a little bit wide out there, and Michael must have, to avoid that, must have gone on the inside too much. So again, the slowdown. So he gets a slowdown on his screen while he's driving. It'll probably say about, you have to give up 1 second. So he's bleeding that off very slightly to make sure he's not losing too much time. It looks like he's getting out of the way. But that does really kill your momentum, especially in a lot of these straights going through here.
Imagine if someone was all the way at 11th place and then they could go all the way up to first place.
They could. It's been done. Look at that. Oh, there's car crashes. What's going on down there? Oh man, Tom spun it around and collected some of the guys in the group and trying to get out of the way as Matt Jackson comes around the corner in the sole Audi of this race.
I wish there was a disco party.
Oh, there might be one at the end of the race. It is the last one of the season. So the LMP2 drivers now, again, gaining more speed as they're letting off a little gas through the back where the tanks are, so a lot less weight. But also the tires are come up to temp, and getting full use of that aero downforce that they're using. All right, looking at some of the leaders through here. And there's Junie. Oh, Junie is rocking a new livery for this week. If I know better, Daniel goes way wide coming out of the stadium section to try to get a great drive. If you had seen Lexi's face, her jaw is on her lap, and she made this hand signal like mind blown after seeing Junie's car. So what do you think, Lexi? I guess you really like that one?
I like it so much, but my jaw cannot reach all the way to my lap. That's not true, guys.
No, I know that's just a metaphor, just how excited that you were to see that car. So if Junie is running that car, and look, he changed his name to Junie Unicorn Thompson. So he's not running the ZP livery this week. But I can almost imagine that he is running that livery in order to catch your attention, because he would like to see if he's in the hunt for the Lexi Car Dress Up Award this week.
Yeah, you are in a treat. We have a gray car.
Yep. There's kitty cats on the sides. Yeah, we'll have to get a better shot on a slower corner, but I am pretty sure that those are kitty cats. Yep, there they are. Oh, all right. So I think he knocked it out of the park on a grand slam home run on this one as he hits one of the slower corners on the right. Here's one of the things. So if you notice the color, the sun is going down here at Le Mans. We didn't want to race into the night, but we did want to race going into the night through sunset. So we set up a late afternoon, and you'll see some of the new graphic changes that we have, which gives some of the reflection of the sun as it sets onto the track, which is pretty neat. And also you'll see a lot more detail on the cars as far as shading and reflections. If you see the side pods or the front wheels of Junie and around the car, you could see the sun now actually transferring position around the shapes of a car, which just trying to make it more realistic, and just see how far I can push this PC without it having to blow up. All right, let's get back to some action. What do you think about that, Lex?
Nice. Hey, you moved up 11 spots.
Nah, there's something wrong with the timing this week, unfortunately. Couldn't get the intervals or gaps to work. Not quite sure. I know this being a longer race and the file quite being large, I think I'm going to have to change the parameters to record more, because the recording started during the formation lap. And I think that kind of messed up some of the timing and scoring. That's why we don't have access to some of the numbers that we normally have throughout the week. So here's Daniel Ciro, who did qualify very well. He is a GT3 driver, but decided to give the LMP2 cars a try and ended up on the grid second.
Craig and Dean are out.
Yep, they are. Dean had I guess a wreck in the first or second one, and I know he runs other series and comes in here and gives it going. Daniel must be going in for some repairs on his car, probably from one of those wrecks that he had earlier.
Pit lane Daniel
Ciro. Yep.
I thought it was Crow.
No, we'll work on last names next season. How about that?
Okay. But we know that Andrew is the winning of the highest points.
Well, yeah, he started there, but again, it's not quite how it should be. So how about we just do that? Ta-da! And we don't have to worry about it, and we get to see more of the action. So here's Bjorn back in the BMW after having a not so good outing, unfortunately, at Road Atlanta with the Lamborghini. He struggled quite a bit there, and I think he's coming back to to a car that he's more familiar with, especially for this track here. And you would think the Lamborghini would be real slippery for Le Mans at the high speeds, but some of the high speed corners really do upset the car's balance on some of the ones that are mid-engine drive. Speaking of mid-engine, let's see. So we have a few Lamborghinis here, and here's Matt Jackson as the only Audi in the field again this week. Probably not one of the more famous cars with some of the new cars coming out. Might be due for an update here pretty soon, but a lot of the cars in the GT3 field and across the iRacing platform last week got a tire update. So the tire model had been updated a little bit to help give it a little more better characteristics, warm up tire temps and stuff like that, a better feel, I guess, for the drivers. So a couple of them, weren't aware of that when they started the race, and then found out real quickly. They're like, hey, what's wrong with the tires? So, but they quickly, tuned in once we told them that's what was going on. All right, what do you have, Lex? Let's try to find. Here goes that battle with these four guys again. So Eric out front in the red one, with Justin Hall in the green one, and Bradley being all crazy with his monochromatic one, and here's the deja vu again. There's Michael Cochran at the back after making his way forward, having a spin and going to the back again. So this is our tightest race. We're going to hold on to this one for a little while and see how this one plays out. Definitely a lot of frontal space on those BMWs. You'd think that they would not be so well, at high speed through the air as they do, but what's fortunate for them is they do come with a lot of power, and you can see the vents on the top of the hood. They're moving that air through there, creating a low pressure and keeping the engine cool, so they can push those things a little bit higher. So as Justin pops out to the side, looks like Eric is going to move up, possibly. Nope, I guess not. Maybe he just wanted some clean air for the guys. Oh, there goes Bradley hitting another cone. That's 2 seconds. All right, Andrew just threw down a fast lap. I just missed it for a second there, but I think it was a 331.7. So Zane with a 334 and JG with a 336. So JG, interesting for JG is he just bought this track right before the session opened. So he really didn't get any practice time, and he is up there. And there goes Zane Plumley. Looks like he had a little off. So that moves JG into third place, a possible podium position. So luckily for JG, Zane's around to always give him a podium. Just never seems that Zane can keep that car on the track whenever he's in third spot for a good finish.
10 laps to go.
It is 10 laps to go. 10 long laps to go.
Yeah, so we're going to be here for an hour.
Well, overall for an hour, yes. And we still have pit stops to go. And a lot of the pit stops are going to take place between laps 7 and 10. Some of them sooner if there's any damage on the car that they want to get fixed. But these cars will go to about the... Oh, did you see that wiggle out of Justin Hall? Wow, he dropped a wheel and used some fast hands to catch that. That was nice.
Is he drinking beer?
No, he is not. He's probably have one hand on the wheel and another hand petting one of his 9 animals that he has.
Oh, that Justin Hall?
Yeah, the one that's on the bottom with all the animals, yes.
Wait, he has 9 animals?
No, I don't know how many, but it just seems like every time he has a picture, there's a new one.
How about Justin Hall, the better Justin Hall is what you're saying? I don't know the other Justin Hall. Anyway, how about you take a picture of each and every one of your 9 pets?
He might do that, or maybe he'll do something special for next season where he has a different pet each week, and then he can tell us ahead of time what the name of the pet is, and then we can have your little pet commentary. Yeah.
So on that week, on the first race when we're back, how about everybody getting an animal car?
Well, good. So talking about next week. So next week is our off week. So we're going to have a fun race. Don't know if we're going to broadcast that or not, but we are going to send the league and attempt to do an oval race in some old NASCAR super stocks. Street stocks, and it's going to be at Charlotte for about 100 laps, and see how these road drivers are going to do playing bumper cars going through the high banks of Charlotte. So
I want to play bumper cars.
Yeah. So we're going to see how that one will go.
What are you talking about, Charlotte?
Charlotte is another track.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a person.
Oh, nope, not at all. All right, so let's here we go. Got some LMP2. So there's Nicholas and Bob. Bob Lucher back, and he is decided to join us for the last race. He was undecided whether or not he wanted to join just because of not a lot of practice time in the LMP2. But from what I'm looking at, he's doing quite well, and we're glad that he actually stuck around as he is flying through those Porsche curves, making up a little bit of time on ZPM driver Nicholas Vincent, who for this week looks like he would be giving Banana Man a run for his money for the brightest wheels. But Michael Cabrera, Banana Man, did not make it out this week. Not sure if he had a conflict or didn't have the track, but surely do miss him.
Okay. Whose birthday is it?
Is that what happens when I nudge you on the side and say, hey, talk while I work out some stuff?
I don't know what to talk about.
You talk about the car, you talk about the track, you talk about racing.
Points, 100,000.
Yeah, see, it's always safe to give out points. Everyone likes the points. I don't know if anyone's actually keeping track of points.
They don't need to keep track.
Yeah, Bob Lucher on the inside. Bud cuts it way wide. Hopefully he does not get a slowdown being that far out. We will see if he'll try to, but here comes Nicholas now is in the draft, and see if he's going to sit there and try to make a move on him.
Okay, 100,000, 1,000,000, 10, 10, now, zillion, million.
Okay, before you give out that many points, you got to write that down.
I know I don't.
I think you do.
Why?
Because.
Okay, I give out not that many, but 10.
How about just 10? It's
No.
It's a long race.
600.
600? That's not bad.
600.
Yep. Daniel back in pit lane. I guess still working on some damage, unfortunately. All right, nobody. So there's the entrance to pit lane. If you can see, it is a little dangerous because you think you have a straight run, but there's a chicane in there, which did catch out quite a few people this week when going into pit lane. So luckily we had a chance to practice. So going through, Michael Cochran, wow, with his fastest lap at 3:56.9, definitely eclipsed a lot of the guys behind them. So he had a great lap. Must have used a lot of the draft to hopefully move himself up to the front. So now Michael in second place. Looks like he is putting his head down and seeing if he can catch up to Jesse Olsen in the Lamborghini. And the gap for that is about 13 seconds. So we'll keep an eye and see if we can get that down. And there is Justin giving chase, who looked like he might have gone a little too far over the rumble strip. These GT3, oh, Michael does spin, trying to get on the power before the straight, which is so important. You know, if you're not getting a good launch out of there, you will lose quite a few miles per hour on this first long straight. So let's see if he got back into the race. So there he is, a little bit of right front damage, but did lose three spots. So hopefully the car's not too damaged, or maybe it's almost about time. He could probably hang on for another lap and then go into the pits for his fuel stop and be able to get that fixed on a fast repair. All right, here is Jason Mcsparron. He is an Icon driver in the Lamborghini. Kind of racing out there by himself. Yeah, we're going to talk to Rob Neller, see if we can get him an Icon livery. I know his focus is dirt track racing for Team Icon, but we do enjoy that he is here racing with us, and hopefully we can get a couple more Icon guys out as well. So something that I do want to talk about is for next season, it hasn't been, or it has been announced by the time this video will be up, and we will be driving all GT3 cars in one class next season. So we're dropping the LMP2 and want to create more close racing between each type of driver even though different cars, but all GT3 cars. And we're also going to have an inter-team battle where it's going to be MSCC versus Shut Up and Drive It versus the Tennessee group from SCCA versus Icon versus Amplemmy Motorsports. And we're just going to call it simply the Team Cup and take the top 2 finishers points from each week and add them together and kind of do it like the Constructors Championship of F1. So hopefully that will be a little bit of fun battle in between, everyone going for a championship as well. All right, looking for some close races. Everyone's kind of spread out. And here we have Bradley and Eric, teammates. And Bradley, I think what they're trying to do is work together to make sure that Eric gets the highest position that he can. So there might be some team orders.
Blinky.
Yeah, I might have. Yeah, not sure. I might have. This is a big, huge track, obviously, so it's a big file to load in for everyone, and it does use a lot of computer space and RAM and memory and all that good stuff. So there are a couple cars that we're not used to seeing blink that were actually blinking this week. All right, so how about you pick
someone to ride with?
Yeah, absolutely.
From the yellow or blue?
Let's go with the yellow, and we'll wait just a little bit because here's the leader in the second half. But go ahead and name somebody as we see some of the guys going into the pits already.
Dustin.
Dustin's out.
I know.
How about JG? All right, so let's go find. There he is.
Bradley and Michael are in. They're both in pit now.
All right, so as we are in the driver's seat going through the fastest and craziest, curviest part of the LeMans circuit is what they call the Porsche Curves. And man, if you don't bleed off enough speed on that last corner, because you go in fast and then you actually decelerate through all the curves, which makes it really tough. As the last straight here, as you go through last tight chicanes, second gear, and then down to a first gear right here. And if you hit that curb, you will go flying in this LMP2 car. So here comes the start finish as we ride along with JG through the stadium section. And this is the part that is really only the part that's lit when it's on the 24-hour race. Everything else is not lit, and you're going to see where this particular section is the actual racetrack. A little bit of elevation there coming through under the Dunlop Bridge, but then it's going to kick out and switch to city streets. So there is a circuit that stays here all the time that hosts races as far as like a normal circuit. But as they come out through this section and right about here, they're going to get back onto city roads. And the organizers of the race actually put out all these barriers and safety every single year for the 24-hour race. But, obviously in iRacing world, it stays there with just a touch of the button when you load in. So JG up to third place. As you can see, the speeds are over 200 miles an hour, breaking down into a second gear right-hand chicane, followed by another straight. And someone made a joke in our Discord that says, "It's LeMans, how hard can it be? Straight chicane, straight chicane." So obviously not quite as easy as that sounds. But what's really neat too is JG, as you guys know, is one of the writers for Grassroots Motorsports. And this month he did put out an article about iRacing and how a lot of the real life racing clubs and autocross clubs and road racing clubs actually now have used iRacing as part of what they do as far as their club's activities. So if you get a chance, if you haven't seen it already, go pick up a copy of Grassroots Motorsports, or if you're a lot younger than I am, just go ahead to grassrootsmotorsports.com and sign up for one of their subscriptions to read that article. It's really good. So obviously he's also pretty funny too. He has another piece he does in the front, and it's usually pretty hysterical. So to me, it's the best part I like about the magazine every month when I get it. So here he is on one of these straights going into one of the weirdest sections of braking, because it's going to come up on a left turn as you drop down to gear, and then brake a little bit and then brake full again as you get into a second gear left-hander for a short shoot into one of the slowest corners on the whole entire track right here, which a lot of people do overshoot.
I'm giving out points.
I like when you give out points.
It was 6 before?
600?
900.
900 is a good amount. So if you saw Justin Hall's time kick out to the side, it was a 3:58 flat, and it was not his fastest time, which is interesting. So he is in sole possession of second place, and he did a 3:57.9 actually is his fastest lap time that he has. So back through as JG went through the Porsche Curves again with these last two chicanes, and back onto the start finish line right there in front of us now.
9 laps to go.
Yep, so there is right behind him is Zane Plumley, who JG and Zane seem like every single week always end up racing each other for position, with JG getting the better of it because Zane's got to figure out how to keep a car on track half the time. But it was nice having a race with JG so much. Learned a lot about his style, which his corner exit is just unbelievable. Not sure what the secret is there. Maybe he can teach that to me. But wow, as they pass through the G3 cars, Zane's falling back a little bit, had to slow down, taking a little bit too wide out of the corner, and is trying to bleed off that time without losing too much to JG. And we'll maybe come back to this and see how things are going to progress as they come to the first one. Well, there makes up a lot of time on the brakes. I figured out that's pretty much how Zane does a lot of his driving. When he hits the brakes, he closes his eyes, turns the wheel, and hope for the best. But hopefully we'll see some new and different things in next season as we go GT3 racing with the whole entire class. You can see some of the speeds that they're hitting over here, over 200 miles an hour, and jamming on the brakes, going from 6th gear down to 2nd gear for some of these corners. So this track isn't too hard on the tires with the amount of straights that are here, so you can usually double stint a lot of tires. And for this race, I know it was just a fuel stop only for a lot of the cars, as we're coming up to the time where we should be seeing some of these cars starting to pit. I know Junie and some other guys did already pit. Let's see if we can get... So running through, as we're on lap 9, I've already completed... So Junie and Chris have already gone in for their pit stops, and I think they were trying to fix some damage to get some of that speed back. If you are... Oh, there's Matt Jackson with the 407.4, his fastest lap. And Daniel threw down a fastest lap, 3:34.2. So the fuel is getting spent, and the cars are getting lighter and faster.
I'm gonna go down the leaderboard again because so much has changed.
Yeah?
Okay, well, most things have changed. Andrew's still in 1st place, Leland's still in 2nd place, JG's in 3rd, you're in 4th, Nicholas in 5th, Junie 6th, 7 Chris, 8 Publicha, 9.
Whoa! Oh my God! Sorry to cut you off there.
It's okay.
Oh man, JG left the door open a little bit, and Zane tried to take advantage of it, almost taking them both out and the wall at the same time. So wow, Zane all over the back of JG, coming through the curves, just trying to give him some space. And whoa, goes right past. Oh, JG must be going to the pits. Yep, there it is, pit lane for Leland Giddens. So Leland and JG and everyone is pitted except for Andrew and Zane. So they must be doing something different with their strategy or being able to fuel save and still stay up for the front. So, I'm sorry, go ahead down leaderboard.
It's okay.
That was exciting. I had to talk about it.
Yeah, it was like really exciting. Okay. Daniel 9, Jesse 10, Justin Hall, the better Justin Hall, 11.
Well, no, he's second in his class.
Yeah. Eric 3rd, Bjorn 4th, Michael 5th, Bradley 6th, Tom 7, new guy 8, Jason 9, Justin, who's out 10, D out 10, Craig out 11.
Yep. Yeah, so those guys couldn't make it through the whole race, but hopefully get things sorted out, get some more practice time, and get them back into the GT3 pack that we're going to start. So that season does start in 2 weeks, opening up at Sebring, which we'll use to test, well, not as a test, but more like just a practice race before the 12 hours of Sebring that weekend. So the way the schedule is worked out, that we planned it accordingly with the MSCC League, is we mirror a series that is on iRacing called the VRS series. They do a sprint race and endurance race every weekend, and a lot of the guys do participate in that. So it only made sense for us to go ahead and mirror that schedule as much as possible with tracks that will work with GT3 cars that we feel are going to be safe and competitive and keep some close racing for us. Another change that we're going to have, instead of 25 laps, since we're dropping the LMP2s, we're going to go back to 20 lap races like we did a couple seasons ago. Again, to keep the racing, nice, clean, exciting, fun. Well, clean, I don't know, we can try to do clean, but we'll see what happens at some of these tracks. As we see Jesse Olsen running through there with a, sorry, I got to look on another screen instead of the board, with a 15-second gap over Justin Hall. So Eric in third. So Eric's on the podium. So we're looking at a 2-3 shut up and drive it on the podium. And right now in LMP2, Andrew, Zane, and Leland on the potential podium.
5 laps to go.
Yep, it is 5. 5 long laps. Matt Jackson setting another fab time. Sorry, I got the hiccups.
It's okay. Don't need to talk.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that normally I talk about, what drink sponsors this this broadcast, and today, unfortunately, it's just water. Maybe I should have stuck to the other stuff.
What other stuff?
Oh, bourbon.
Beer, coffee.
Yeah, all that stuff. All right, Jesse goes into the pits as the leader, so he made it out to lap 10.
French fries.
Yep, Andrew is in the pits. I don't think, Zane can stay out any longer.
For what?
He's going to run out.
You're in second place.
Yep, so there it is. So coming into pit. So how about we say everyone's a lot spread out. And we knew that was going to happen on this race. Eric coming into the pits now. So his beer's full.
Yeah, he drinks it all the time. Okay, you need a diet.
What, me?
No, Eric.
What? He's skinny. He's mountain biking now.
What?
Well, I mean, in Florida, I don't know how much you can go mountain biking, but maybe he goes pseudo mountain biking, or maybe hill biking, sidewalk biking, park bench biking. I don't know.
I get it. But what's a diet?
Just the way you eat.
Well, how do you eat?
It depends. It's what you eat, whether you eat good things or bad things.
Well, he needs a diet.
No, he doesn't. All right, here's Nicholas Vincent. So, also jumping up into the LMP2 class for this last race instead of his GT3, and doing quite well. He said he really enjoyed the car and it was different. We ran a lot of practice races up until this race here, and it was nice to see the guys getting a lot of speed. Junie setting his quickest time at 3:36. All right, so I think we're good with pit strategy. We can go back to the battles box so we can see how close or how far people are now that we've gone through a pit stop. Chris Wells, a fast time. I love that shot right there.
What shot?
With the car cresting over the hill and the sunset in the background with the Dunlop curve. That's gorgeous. It's even amazing in real life too. If you've ever watched the 24-hour Le Mans every year, it's probably my favorite weekend of the whole entire year. And just don't tell my wife that. that is my favorite weekend of the year because there's anniversaries and Christmas and birthdays and yeah, I know. Okay, so I generally what I like to do is because my favorite race the entire year because there's so much the racing, the strategy, the history, just the drama of it all, and the technology is just so great. So I actually stay up for the whole entire race, and I have the live broadcast on the one TV, and I have some laptops that are showing some live streams from some of the cars, and my tablet has live timing and scoring, and I sit there and just enjoy the whole entire thing. So if you guys are interested, check it out. I know they did move this year's 24-hour Le Mans, the real race, into August, late August, I think the third weekend. So make sure you mark your calendars if that's something you guys are interested in. Maybe I'll have a watch party. Who knows? Oh, but also stay tuned because a lot of the teams that are in this race will also be having team cars in the iRacing 24-hour Le Mans. So keep an eye out for that as well. What's with your pirate face?
That's a I look like a pirate?
I don't know. You're making faces at me. You trying to make me laugh or what?
No. I'm trying to... I don't know. I'm trying to, make you...
What?
Say... What's that face for? In the ring?
Well, now I've said it.
Okay.
Now, what's your next goal?
To make sure... Cone.
Yep. That cone gets destroyed. I think people use that, they run over that cone as their braking marker.
My goal is to make you say, my daughter is the best.
Oh, well, my daughter is the best.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. All right, so I'm going to have to keep a list of the new graphics and everything else. So I just, on the upper right-hand corner, did put the track map. You can see, even though they look close on the track, there isn't anybody right now that's within at least 4 or 5 seconds of each other. I know Bradley's 2 seconds from Eric, and that's the closest race that we have. So we can go through and actually see who we have. So there's Jason that we highlighted earlier before from Team Icon, and Matt Jackson in the Audi R8, the ZPM livery. Taking a little shortcut right through there. I know he's going to be mad because it seems like every time I go to put the camera on him, he always says, "Man, why do you always have to do that every single time I do something wrong?" But he's not quitting and he's hard on it, so it's great to see him, keep going, and maybe he's just trying to make up some time. Who knows? There is Tom with his pink design livery.
You are the best.
I try. And there's Bjorn with the silver chromatic. I don't know if I'm using the right word or not, but it's shiny. It's a fancy word for shiny, maybe. And Bradley. That great shot over the hill again. And Eric in now 4th place. Michael up in 3rd, so he did get that damage fixed as he went into the pit stop as Junie flies by him on the left. You can see the size difference between the LMP2 car and the BMW. Not that the BMW is huge, it's just the LMP2 car is so low and wide and long, but it does look very short. Justin Hall. There's Bob Blucher rocking the Porsche factory livery from one of their LMP cars. Still has his blue and yellow suit and helmet on inside. Jesse with the Oreo themed Lamborghini.
I like that car.
Yeah, now I want Oreos. Where's Cassie? Speaking of Oreos, doesn't she normally bring us cookies?
Yeah.
Man,
Where's Cassie?
she's fired as an intern.
Yeah, she's fired. I'm gonna take all away her tip.
And Daniel Ciro up in the LMP2 car for this week, doing a great job. Chris Wells still rocking the MSCC livery, so it's going to be interesting for next season is finding out when we go into teams how certain guys are going to go into certain teams, and MSCC might have multiple car types, so we'll have to make sure that they get a good livery on each one of their car types if they choose to go that route. Nicholas Vincent, you can see a mile away from those bright green wheels. Junie the Unicorn.
Junie Unicorn Thompson. Imagine if it's Junie Unicorn Thompson, the better Junie Thompson.
Well, there's only one Junie Thompson, so to be the best Junie Thompson.
He's the best?
Of course. Do you know any other Junie Thompsons? No? So he's the best.
But I don't, I know someone named Junie.
So here's JG coming through the last set of chicanes before the start-finish straight to get on to lap 13 for him in 4th place. So he is chasing down Zane, and there's a 10-second gap from him up to Zane. So Zane, I think, had a quicker pit stop, getting in and out of the pits to get a little time. Jesse Olsen, 3:57.3. Just laying down those fast times. Zane Plumley in the same livery all year and the same number. Whoa, hanging it out wide.
You are in 3rd place. This is
Yep.
amazing. What place do you stay in at the end of the race?
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So here's Leland Giddens. Oh, and you see Zane is chasing down his teammate now for 2nd place.
So that's you, or that's...
That's Leland, and I'm the car in the back.
Jinx. Daddy. Okay.
And then here is Andrew. I do like those red chrome wheels. That looks pretty good on that livery.
Nope. So we, it says there that there are...
Well, Andrew started the race. So again, I'm not sure of the timing since the whole entire session did not, record if that threw off some of the numbers and stuff. Whoa, hanging it out real wide there. Doesn't really need to push that hard. He does have a 25-second lead over Leland, and Zane is still holding steady at like 2.5 seconds behind Leland on the 3rd spot. And JG made up a little bit of time, 9.7 from 10 seconds. So a couple corners, we'll see how that goes. All right, so Bradley showing on the back, I think, of Eric again. Yep, and the red car. So again, I know they're trying to help Eric out to try to get as many points as possible as Bradley ducks out. I think he did that to make sure that his car does not overheat. But as long as Bradley doesn't finish in front of Eric, I think that's what they're going for. So some of the not team battles, but some of the championship battles, as a LMP2 class, Jesse has went ahead and locked in the championship in the LMP2, and Leland is in a fight with Junie for 2nd spot, and I believe it came out to be whoever finished in front of who for this race would actually end up 2nd, and the other one would end up 3rd for the LMP2 class. In the GT3 class, Justin, I believe, has already locked up the GT3 championship as well, and Dean Dibdahl's EPM driver was in 2nd, and I think Eric Shut Up and Drive It is trying to capture that 3rd spot, how he finishes out today. So I think team orders here obviously are to make sure Eric finishes as high as possible as he can for the benefit of the shut up and drive it guys.
More points?
Absolutely more points.
What was I on? 900?
Something like that.
Let's go with... So... 1400.
Woo! That's pretty big, but definitely late in the game. Yep, here we are riding around with Matt Jackson in the Audi R8. Taking it nice and smooth through here. Woo! Hanging it full wheel sliding out to the left. A little bit of braking through here, downshift to get a better launch out and onto the main straight. So Jesse Olsen, another sub 4-minute lap. And Bob Blucher seems to be dropping a bit. Hopefully didn't have too big of a problem. Yep, as Zane Plumley goes by Matt Jackson.
Wow, those cars are moving so fast when you're near them, but they're moving so slow on the So, who is like the first one? Is it Andrew? Where is Andrew?
Andrew's up at the front.
Is he the Oreo car?
No, Andrew is in the Zane Plumley Motorsports car. There you go.
There you go. Okay, I got him. I got him on my side.
You good now?
Wow, he's actually going pretty fast on that.
Yep, he threw down some amazing lap times. Like I said, low 331s, and that's with the 40 horsepower drop that they actually took out of the car. Just a few weeks ago. And the other cars, when they had 40 horsepower, were making 3 minute 30 seconds, a little bit below that as well. So definitely taking advantage of the aero downforce to get around the corners faster. Make up some of that time, even though the deficit of horsepower is there, as he just starts to go through the Porsche Curves. That's funny, that blue wall that's there on the right hand side is, I was doing a 24-hour race with Leland, and he was, he kept tagging the wall ever so slightly every single time, and he asked me over the radio as I was crew chief for him, he goes, man, why can't they just move that wall out? So I switched to blimp mode, and it's actually a tunnel that goes to the infield so cars and tractor trailers can get to the inside of the track. As one of their main reasons in. So I let him know that. He still wasn't happy. He still thinks they can move the wall, but I've officially written an email to the AFCO and FIA to see if they can move the wall, but they certainly haven't made anything yet.
White flag.
Wow, last lap. And
it's gonna be a long one. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, that's just part of the racing. This is, this is more endurance for this one as opposed to some of the other ones that we've had. So JG in third place, holding down another podium. I think that might be his, if you can hold on to it, the fourth podium that he's been able to get this year in the series. So happy to have him. I know that he does switch around to other groups and other organizations, with his time, and so I think ours was just our time that he could check out the MSCC league, and again, just very, very happy to have him. Great racer, and very courteous as well. And also was helping out, inside the chat. So I've enjoyed racing with him. It's going to be interesting going to GT3. Who the matchups will be to keep the grudges going on who's going to finish higher than the next person outside of the podium fishers.
Bob Blucher is out.
Oh no, Bob Blucher. He must be going for a spot of tea.
Oh, certainly. And he should also take a scone too. So you should take a scone, Bob Blucher.
Which is really funny about LeMans and food. in last year's 24 hours of iRacing Le Mans. One of the Formula One drivers, Charles Leclerc, who races for Ferrari Formula One, was eating a yogurt on the Mulsanne Straight while he was actually racing in the official 24-hour race. So it's pretty funny that that's how long these straights are. And he's just, having a yogurt, right there while he's on the webcam, racing in the race, which is really funny. So just funny how some people, as part of his training regimen, he's got to eat so often. All right, so here's the leader, Andrew Gaderick. Yep. Actually, you might say Gatorick.
Gatorade?
Yeah, I think
Gatorade.
Well, funny you say that, because when I was asking him how to pronounce his name, he was like, well, it's like Gatorade, but with Rick at the end. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So, so you got the phonetic spelling. So if you call him Andrew Gatorade, he may not be too upset, but it is Gatorick.
Andrew Gatorade.
Well, he's going to be able to spray the Gatorade all over Victory Lane as he's coming through the last section of Porsche Curves so fast. He might be setting another one of his fast laps. He is not taking it easy as he's coming up to the checkered flag.
8.
Yep,
7.
we're closing in on 55 minutes. So definitely one of our longest races that we have. You see the sun going down and the lights going on. Here he comes through the last 2 corners. I think that was Bjorn. He's going to get another lap out of this. There he is, flashing lights and the finish line with Andrew. And he did set the fastest lap of the race with a 3:31.6. Absolutely amazing. That was his first victory in the LMP2 class. So congratulations to him on that, as we see Leland going in for second place, another podium for Leland.
Since everyone's going to go through the finish line, do you want to hear my lexicon decibel word?
You already have a winner?
Yeah. Well, it's been an hour.
Well, you keep reminding me. Well, aren't you glad that next season will be 20-lap races, because it won't be an hour?
Okay.
And for you out there listening, it's hard to keep an 8-year-old with a lot of energy still for an hour to talk about cars and racing.
Yeah.
All right, and here comes JG crossing the line for the podium. Congratulations to JG on another podium win, as that sets our top 3 for the LMP2 class. All right, go ahead.
Me?
Yep.
Okay, the winner is, please, you don't have to drum roll. Okay, it's Junie Unicorn Thompson.
That's your winner?
Yep, with the kitty cat.
Man, and he's going off course. He's going off big time. He's going to try to launch this thing.
Is there a disco ball?
I don't know. He definitely took a shortcut through there.
I think he's trying to get a head.
Maybe. All right, here comes our class leader for the GT3 class, Jesse Olsen. He is cruising to victory with a 19-point-second lead over Michael, who had worked his way up from the back into second place. There goes Matt Jackson. He'll get another lap out of this. Oh, does call him a checker. Oh, because the LMP2s did go across, so he won't get an extra lap. So there is Jesse Olsen for the win, and again, another sub 4-minute lap. Let's check in with Michael. And right behind him, Justin Hall, just right on his tail, right to the end. And here it is, such a hard corner to get anything between that last corner and across the finish line as they finish 0.53 seconds apart for third place to finish out the podium.
You're out.
I am out.
Outies, are you off for some tea and scones?
Well, we're in France, so maybe we'll have baguettes and, I don't know, what do they drink? Not espresso, that's Italian.
What a baguette.
I don't know, they say it in like the Beauty and the Beast movie. Maurice, the baguettes, hurry up.
Was that the candle saying that?
No, that was some guy out in the area. So, all right, so everyone's going to turn off their traction control.
I think he's trying to get all the cones down. Okay, do you want to hear my winner?
You just told me the winner.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I forget very easily. Okay, do you have any last things to say? Usually you say that to me.
I don't know. Why don't you take it over? What last things do you have to say? This is our last race for this season.
Au revoir.
There you go. Nicely done. And again, thank you everyone who has been watching not just this race but the whole entire season, especially the ones that are not the drivers. I know the drivers are going to watch, but if you have been watching this and keeping up, I want to thank you enough for supporting us and being able to contribute to the fun that we have here on iRacing.
So much smoke and black.
I know it. All right, so catch us in 2 weeks when we're going to start season 2 and GT3s at Sebring for a 20-lap sprint race. So thank you again, and we will see you soon.
Bye. See you in 2 weeks.